As the mammoths near the Alps region, the terrain changes dramatically. Flat plains give way to hills and valleys. It is here that lives another species of human, the Neanderthals. They are much shorter than the other humans, and like other Ice Age animals, they have big noses to warm the air they breathe. Rather than migrate, they stay within the same valleys all year long, weathering out the worst of the winter in shallow caves. But with this recent Ice Age, their numbers have plummeted. This is now an endangered species. Another animal that doesn't travel south in winter is the woolly rhino. They are very short-sighted, and this huge male has not even noticed the Neanderthal just 50 meters away. For a while, the Neanderthal doesn't notice the rhino either. Woolly rhinos are easily startled and will charge at anything that surprises them. Even at this distance, he won't see the Neanderthal, but his sense of smell is better than his sight. The rhino has picked up the scent. It is fortunate for the Neanderthal that his species is stronger and more heavily built than the other humans. Thick bones and a barrel chest help him deal with a very tough lifestyle. Having traveled almost 400 kilometers in 2 weeks, the herd at last arrives at the foothills of the Alps. Here, in the sheltered forests and valleys, they will spend their winter. Here there is protection from the wind, as well as food. Thanks to their highly dexterous trunks, these grassland animals can sustain themselves on trees like these spruce, when their usual food is buried under thick snow. A week later, and the matriarch hears a familiar call. The calf and his mother have at last caught up with the rest of the herd. Touching each other with their trunks, members of the herd renew their bonds with the pair. The most hazardous part of the winter is over, and the calf has survived. In an ice age, spring comes late. It is May before things have warmed up enough for the snow to melt and a carpet of flowers to spring up. With the increase in temperature, the woolly rhinos have molted and are not as woolly as they were. The mammoths too have already shed their long winter coats to leave a lighter underwool, only a few centimeters long. The calf has come through the winter in good health, and now he has been weaned, spends more time away from his mother. He is also no longer the youngest. The herd's latest member arrived just a few weeks ago. It's a little female. The rhinos, meanwhile, are starting to get feisty again. These two males are fighting for territory, but these confrontations aren't always violent. They scrape their horns on the ground until one of them backs down and leaves the area to the victor. But while winter may be over here, the northern plains are still defrosting, and so the herd will spend a couple of weeks in the valleys yet. It gives the newest arrival a bit more time to get some strength in her legs before the journey back north. There is a downside to all this warmer weather. Insects are becoming a problem again. But where there's mud, there's a way. A good shower of mud can help prevent the insects biting. Or maybe mammoths just do this for the fun of it. Like autumn in reverse, the great mammoth caravans form once more as it's time to head north. Soon the mountains are behind them, but they are coming into dangerous territory. The Neanderthals are waiting. For them, the mammoths coming north is one of the most important times of the year. They are about to risk life and limb to hunt them. To take on a mammoth, they need every advantage they can get. They wait for dusk, when the cliff will become less visible, and they can make effective use of their secret weapon: fire. The Neanderthals descend to the bottom of the cliff to butcher their kills. One of the mammoths is still alive. The Neanderthals are supreme hunters, which is why they have lasted over 260,000 years. But they have a weakness. They do not adapt well to change. As a result of the harsher climate and the arrival of other humans, Neanderthals are fast disappearing. In another 2,000 years, they'll be gone altogether. The herd eventually arrive back on the northern plains. Fortunately, both of the youngsters have survived the journey. The herd has nonetheless suffered a major loss. The matriarch is missing, killed when the Neanderthals attacked. It is now her sister that leads the herd into the future. Mammoths will last another 24,000 years. They are superbly adapted for this cold world, but when it gets warm again, the grassy plains they depend on will disappear. The humans have a different future ahead of them. When change comes, they will be able to deal with it, because they can adapt, and they have the ability to shape the world around them. One day, they'll look back on all this. We have since built museums to celebrate the past and spent decades studying prehistoric lives. And if all this has taught us anything, it's this: no species lasts forever.